All right. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? You are now watching Juke Boy Sports Show. I'm your host, Kyng Ralph, and I'm here with two of the homies, the homie Tar, the homie Marv. What's happening, y'all? How y'all feeling?
Great, bro.
Good.
How's everything?
Doing good, man. Just got the fresh cut, man. It's gonna be hard to keep the ladies off me tomorrow. My girl,
crispy, man.
I'm crispy. I forgot about that. Yo, that was funny. My girl gonna be like, yo, you gotta come straight home after work tomorrow.
No errands.
No errands and take your ass home. But this show has been brought to you by Fitboxer. If you want to do any podcasts like what you watching, music videos, photo shoots, call the number on the bottom of the screen, 707 Fitboxer. And then make sure you go on our socials, like, share, comment, subscribe. The important ones, we need subscribers up on YouTube, so J.U.K. Followers on Instagram, J.U.K. Sports Show, and likes and follows on Facebook, the He Say She Say channel. He Say She Say all one chunk, but it's all down there on the bottom of the screen. And we got a lot to get into. I got to get into I think at this point, I think I've done 3 power rankings this year. It's time for the third one. Week 14. Well, we're going into week 14. So this is my power ranking going into week 14. And so I had some movement, man. The Eagles got whopped, so they had to go ahead, move on down. Chiefs lost. So Chiefs lost to the Packers, who's not on my list, so they had to move on down as well.
It's a rough list.
Yeah, man. When you take an L, it's hard. And then the Eagles, the Eagles still, bro. Yeah. But then with the Eagles, man, you get whopped by a team that's on the list. I can't have you, but I can't have you above that team.
Fair, that's fair.
And so I got a string of AFC South teams. Two of them are 7-5. I think the other is 8-4, I believe. I think the Jaguars are 8-4. So I got the Texans in at 10. I think that what they've been able to do, CJ Stroud leading the pack, defense playing well. They play hard through the whistle. I know they just lost Tank Dell for the season, but I think that they'll have enough weapons and be able to lift the guys up in order for them to they make moves. So I'm kind of curious to see what happens. I've looked at their schedule for the rest of the season. I think they got the Colts twice. No, they got the Titans twice. They got the Colts once. I think they got the Jets and the Bengals. No, they played the Bengals already. I forget who that last game is. But I'm curious, and we're going to talk about this later on when it comes to CJ and the MVP talks. But I got them in at 10 with a winnable schedule going forward, and they're playing really good football. I got the Colts ahead of them. I believe early in the season the Colts won, which is why I have the Colts above them. They're both at 7-5. And I just right now, I think the Colts are playing a little bit better football. They're a little bit healthier.
They got the longest winning streak in the NFL right now.
Right. And so, regardless of what you say, that man, Minshew Magic is doing his thing. He's doing his thing. Like you can't even hold my boy. But yeah, I got the Colts at 9, and then I got the Jaguars at 8. They're coming off of a victory over the Texans. I know they just lost Trevor Lawrence. They still haven't said the severity of his injury, right?
High ankle sprain, and they said he's a quick healer. They said he could play this week if he wanted to, but they might just keep him out just as a precaution. Yeah. But yeah,
depending on who he's playing. I didn't get a chance to look at their schedule though, but depending on who he's playing, he can miss 2 games.
They're playing the Browns, so no, don't do it.
Yeah, nah. Yeah. Because that defense, man, they be on the quarterback. Myles Garrett
that man got a cemetery in his backyard of quarterbacks he sacked.
Nobody should be that big and be that fast, be able to jump that high. Like
bro said this before blitzing a quarterback and hit you with a crossover.
Yo, when he hit that dude with the crossover, he had a vote. He should have got a vote for MVP. I'm just saying, bro.
Just off the strip.
and really hit him with the crossover though.
Excuse me.
Hezzy, bro. Hit him with the hezzy.
Hey, quick sidebar. So much so that people are saying he's literally Kobe Bryant because they look alike. Bro, no joke, bro. They was like, well, how did he know? How did he know how to do the crossover?
And so I think that the Jaguars, they got good coaching. Hopefully Trevor Lawrence is not out for too long. So I got the Jaguars at 8. I got the Dolphins in at 7. For me, man, I still need to see them beat some good teams.
Okay, that's fair.
Like that's the thing for me. Is like when they play, like they were in a dogfight with us. I know we've been playing much better football since we got AP, and that's a whole conversation for a whole nother topic. But they were in a dogfight with us. We seen them get smacked by some of the top teams in the league. And so for me, I need to see a little bit more before I start to put them that high up. So I got them in at 7 because the Lions.
Okay.
Lions been playing good, solid football. And
they're a good, solid team.
They're a good team. Outside of that loss against the Ravens,
the Packers just spanked them though.
Hey, it is what it is.
And then they barely beat the Saints. They were up like 24-0 on the Saints, and they let the Saints come back. If Jameis Winston don't come in the game and Derek Carr finishes it, they might lose that game. So Lions are kind of overrated to me.
Hey, I got them in. They on the list at 6. After that, I got the Cowboys in at 5. There's just I don't know if it's my bias against them or if it's just like I'm just tired of the regular season talk. I need to see it in the playoffs. But they're playing really good football. Dak is keeping the turnover.
They haven't played anybody. I'm sorry, but they haven't played anybody.
I agree, yo. I was about to finish
but, yeah, just like the Dolphins, they haven't played anybody, bro.
Yeah. They smack who they're supposed to smack, which is half the battle. Which is also half the battle. But then I got the Chiefs at 4. I had them higher, but they lost this past week to a team that didn't even make the power rankings. Probably would have been like 12th or 13th if I was going that far down. But it's just like we talked about a couple weeks ago. It's just I just think that is somehow Kelsey gonna be open. And Pat gonna find a way to get it done. And their defense is playing like lights out right now too. So, or at least this season. So I got the Chiefs in at 4. I got the Ravens. We're coming off of a bye week, which is the only reason why they moved up. Teams that I had in front of them lost. Or I just think that the Ravens were already a better team than them in the first place. I think as far as the production. Lamar is not going to be able to put himself in the MVP conversation just strictly off the numbers. His numbers aren't the best, but they're winning games. And as of late, they've been looking real good. And they're coming off of a bye week. I think their benchmark is when they play the 49ers, and I think that's in 2 weeks. So I can't wait for that one. I think that's going to be a big game. And then at that point, I'll be able to really tell you whether or not they're legitimate title contenders. Now I got the Eagles, who would have been in 1, but they got waxed by the team that is in first on my power ranking. I got the Eagles in at 2. Been talking about them all year. They just been finding ways to win. Now, regardless of, I've seen some different reasons why some people aren't too high on the 49ers after this win, and some people aren't too low on the Eagles. Which I think some of it I can understand where people are coming from, where the 49ers over the last couple of weeks, some of the games that they've been playing versus how much football Jalen Hurts and those boys have to play after overtime games, hard-fought games. And then they got a Cowboys team who's had extra rest going into next week's game on top of that. But I still think they still find ways to win football games. I just don't believe in Dak in big moments. So I think the Eagles next week are going to find a way to get that victory. And then what more can you say about the 49ers? Like, I felt like when they got Chase Young, I was like, these niggas cheating, bro. Like how, and then even with the Eagles, like they just signed Shaq
Leonard.
Like, bro, like how are these people able to make this money work? Like, what does these books look like? I need to see the books because, especially with the 49ers, how you got Chase Young on one side, Nick Bosa, Hargrave, Fred Warner. I can't even think of the safety.
Huff,
that dude.
Ward. Most of them are on rookie contracts, and you got Brock Purdy who's not getting paid anything. Yeah. He's undrafted. He's pretty much undrafted. So, because in the NFL, most of the money goes to the quarterback. If you're not paying the quarterback, then you got money for everybody.
Yeah, your team's gonna be nice.
So they're not paying the quarterback nothing.
So that's my 10. I got Texans, Colts, Jaguars, Dolphins, Lions, Cowboys, Chiefs, Ravens, Eagles, 49ers. And then, for the sake of time, we got to move along. So I talked about Eagles getting smacked. Brock Purdy has now launched himself in the top 5. If you ask Vegas or anybody that's in the media, major media. But who is your top 5? Sorry, you can go first.
So for me, like my topic is more so who should win the MVP opposed to who's going to win the MVP, because you just mentioned it's gonna end up being an NFC quarterback, whoever the top NFC team is. But my question to you guys is, right, when did the MVP award become a quarterback driven award for like the top team, right? Because Tyreek Hill and Christian McCaffrey, those are, like, to me, the front runners of who should get it, but they won't. Like, lost are the days of like Adrian Peterson getting it because he was just the best damn player in the league, or LaDainian Tomlinson winning it because he's the best damn player in the league. We just give it to quarterbacks now, right? It should be Tyreek Hill, bro. Like, it's not that hard, and it should be Christian McCaffrey. Like, my biggest problem against Brock Purdy winning it is the 3-game losing streak they went on when Christian McCaffrey and Debo were hurt. He was absolute dog water. That man was dog water.
Yep.
And all the other quarterbacks were super inconsistent this year. Like last week, it was Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts has been inconsistent all year. He's like up there with turnovers. Like, he has as much interceptions as Jimmy Garoppolo, and Jimmy Garoppolo ain't paid in 3 damn weeks. That's how garbage Jimmy. Like, he's second or third in turnovers, next to Josh Allen. So why is he even in consideration? I don't know. Dak Prescott, I mean, I can understand Dak Prescott being in there. I get it. But to me, I don't see it being that hard. It's Tyreek Hill or Christian McCaffrey, but because we have this fascination with quarterbacks, they're going to get it. And my second question is, how the hell do you win Offensive Player of the Year and not the MVP?
Yeah.
Like, why do you have 2 separate awards? Offensive Player of the Year and MVP? Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
I hate that because then they hit
I'll do you one better. Why is there a quarterback award and an MVP if we're just going to give the MVP to the quarterback?
That's what I'm saying. And that's why I didn't make a top 5. It's bullshit anyway. So I didn't do it because it's like, it should be Tyreek Hill. It should be Christian McCaffrey. But it's like, bruh, it's going to be a top quarterback that literally had 3 bad weeks.
Right.
Yeah, I would go Tyreek for sure, as my, because I believe anything. I think only thing that can stop him from hitting 2,000 is injury. Other than that, there's no defensive coverage that you can throw at him. Outside of Tua maybe getting hurt, because I think even if you have a subpar or average quarterback, he's still gonna find a way. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. And I think if he does that, it's the first time in history. Yeah, that's one more game, but he's doing that in, I would think, week 14. So he's going to do that in less time than anybody's done that. So the extra game really wouldn't matter. So we can't have that argument. Oh, well, there's one more game. Well, he's done it in what probably is going to be close to, I would say he's going to do it on that 16th, borderline 17th game, depending on what type of a year he finishes out on, right? Yeah. So I would go Tyreek for sure. Then we got Christian McCaffrey. I'm gonna go TJ Watt. Then I'm gonna go what's my guy from the Cowboys? Even though he got cooked last game, it was bound to happen. It's a law of averages. Yeah. So it's a law of averages, right? He's been dominating. He's been good. They do some, you know, what I'm studying on, and they finally get him. You know what I mean? He was dog fart. He was dog fart all game. I'm not gonna lie to you. He really was. But and they literally went at him all game. That was the most. But I feel like as far as on the defensive side, outside of T.J. Watt, he has a good case for it. Some would say Dak. I would say CeeDee Lamb. That's just me. And then we're going to go Myles Garrett to round out my little top five there. But that's about it. It's going to be a lot of defensive players that are not going to get a look. They're not going to, you know what I mean? It's much like you were saying. And Christian McCaffrey and, you know what I mean? And a receiver, which we know his position is completely dependent. So for you to even be in discussion for the MVP shows how dominant you are. Yeah. But we'll see. You know what I mean? Hopefully they don't college football us and on the MVP. And we'll see. You know.
I mean, they definitely are though, man. They definitely finna try to hit us with the Ooptadoo because every year it's a quarterback thrown in there, and I hate it because as much as we can sit here and talk about, oh well, you need the quarterback, the wide receiver needs the quarterback in order to get the ball. We have evidence that shows before a certain quarterback got a certain receiver, they were not the quarterback we thought they were.
Bro, like I said before, bro, the 3 weeks the 49ers lost, they didn't have Debo and Christian McCaffrey was hurt. You put 8 in the box, he wasn't doing nothing. Watch the Browns game, watch the Bengals game, and watch the Vikings game. He was absolute dog water when it came down to not having weapons. Like, he's good, right? But he's not doing what Patrick Mahomes did. Like not having weapons and being able to find new ways to win games, he's not doing that. Like if you gave him Juju Smith-Schuster as your best receiver and say go out there and win a game, no. Like Patrick Mahomes, that was a deserving MVP last year, but this year I can't say this is a deserving MVP. It's not. It's just because you're on the top NFC team. That's it.
Facts. Because you can sit there, you can even go from Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs to Jalen Hurts last year when he got A.J. Brown to Tua getting Tyreek. Like, obviously, yes, you do need talent in order to have a good offense, but sometimes these position players are boosting these quarterbacks to a higher level than they ever would have been by themselves.
I have a quick question. Who won the MVP of the year? Jonathan Taylor just completely had like damn near 2,000 yards rushing.
I think that was the year that Aaron Rodgers won.
Okay, but was his team like dominant?
I think Aaron Rodgers only threw like 6 picks the entire year, maybe like 4. Yeah. That's why they gave it to him.
No, I get it, but it's like to me, I felt like that year I would have like easily gave it because Jonathan Taylor won Offensive Player of the Year, and I was like, but he was the best overall player in the league. How could you give him the damn MVP award?
Oh God!
So
yeah, that's when they hit you with the new nigga rule and be like, oh well, the quarterback is more important, and it's about value. I can find any old running back, but I can't replace Aaron Rodgers.
So I mean,
and then great segue. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, Packers have had Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love has been on a tear these last 3 games. If Jordan Love ends up being that guy, is this the greatest streak of quarterbacks we've seen on one team?
I'll let Tar go first.
Okay, I think this is more of a context question, and I'm gonna say yes, right? Because when you compare what the streak the Packers have been on to other franchise, like other teams, it doesn't equal up. Like look at the Jets, for example, right? Who has the Jets franchise quarterback? I'm gonna wait.
You said the nicest,
right? Well, their franchise. Who has been their franchise quarterback?
Sanchez, Mark Sanchez.
No, not Mr. Butt Fumble.
But see, that's so from a contextual purpose, right? Aaron Rodgers was their quarterback for 17 years, like 17 seasons, but started 12, right? And you have Brett Favre, right? That longevity there is crazy, right? And not having to trade or needing to sign a quarterback or draft a quarterback. It just comparing that to like the league average, that's crazy. Look at the Commanders, right? After RG3, how many different quarterbacks that they have since RG3? They can't find a quarterback, right? The Jets can't find a quarterback. Like ever since Andrew Luck retired, 4 different quarterbacks opening day started for the Colts. Like it's so hard to find purpose at quarterback. Before Raiders got Aaron Rodgers, we had 20 different starting quarterbacks. So for the Packers franchise to have one in all that time, and it's crazy if you really break it down from a conceptual purpose. Yeah, of course. Like I think it's the greatest streak, and if Jordan Love happens to find out and work out, then yeah, but like they haven't missed, and it's crazy. Right. Teams have missed like bad and bad.
Yeah.
What about the 49ers?
Yeah.
Let's think about this, right? Let's go back to Joe. We go back to Joe, and we're going to skip over some quarterbacks. We're not going to catch every quarterback that, there's going to be some guys that fall through the cracks. But let's think about the most memorable names that they've had, right? Joe Montana. They immediately replace him with Steve Young. They have some down years, then they run into Jeff Garcia. Very decent quarterback. Can we all agree?
Yeah.
Then some years later, we get Colin Kaepernick that leads them to a Super Bowl.
Alex Smith, too.
Whoa, right? I forgot. Alex Smith. There you go, right? He was very decent quarterback. And now we have Brock Purdy. So I would say 49ers first and then Packers second if we're going to do a hierarchy. But the quarterback tree is a very real thing. And it's we need to look at around the league and see who else. And it might be some young cats who are starting their quarterback tree right now that we can, look at. But I think those are 2 very good ones that we can take from and see that, like you said, there's 2 franchises that just don't miss when it comes to that position.
I think that when you think about how long that it's been since they've had a bad quarterback, that you got to give it to them.
Because you kind of throw the Cowboys in there too.
No, now Quincy Carter's in the goddamn.
Quincy Carter is not that bad.
Right, but you're gonna have some down years, just like the Niners did.
Yeah.
You're gonna have some down years. You're not gonna hit every year. You know what I mean? Unless you're like the Packers. You see what I'm saying? Unless you're like the Packers, where you just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. And not injury, and being lucky with injury too.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I hate to say it because I hate the Packers. I'm not even that big of a Bears fan, but being from Chicago and then just seeing the turmoil that they got to deal with, I just hate the Packers. So I hate to say it, but I just think what was that, 93, 94 is when Brett Favre became their quarterback?
92.
So since I was 3 years old, maybe even 2, depending on when the year started or when he got there, they have had a quality quarterback.
and then that's the funny part. The Jets in that time frame have not, and that's the funny part.
So they've had some trash, bro. They've had some really good other positions.
You haven't had a quarterback since 92.
I think Benny
Testaverde question down in conceptual purposes, it's crazy.
And what was that? Not Wayne Pennington, but what was his name? Chad Pennington.
Matt Pennington. Okay. Yeah, that was their last good quarterback in my
opinion. He was good, and then when he hurt his elbow, he became another quarterback.
Yeah, his shoulder.
His shoulder or elbow, it was something that he hurt, and then he just was not. He still wasn't what he was the first 2 years.
He got drafted because he was throwing to Randy Moss. Let's be real. In college, let's be real.
True.
Let's be real, bro.
When he got his opportunity, he balled, and then he hurt his shoulder, and then he just became.
NFL comeback player of the year because he had 4,000. It led him to the playoffs. But he was nice. He was definitely nice. Yeah,
I feel it. I feel it because he was.
I was a Santana Moss fan, so I understand. But it's all he left a lot to be desired. Let's just say that.
Absolutely. Yeah. He couldn't throw the ball deep. He was a check down guy.
There you go.
Yeah, he had a weenie arm for sure.
Yeah. His arm wasn't strong to begin with. Then when the shoulder happened, it really took away some of that.
Yeah, bro. He was weenie.
Yeah. On God. What was that? I did that one already. All right. So we are a full month into the NBA season. In season tournament is coming to a close at the end of the week. But what is some of your biggest surprise? And we got 5 minutes to cook on this between the three of us. What is some of your biggest surprise? What is your biggest surprise?
The Orlando Magic for me.
Yeah, I seen they were like 14-6.
Yeah, they went on a 9-game winning streak, which
Franz Wagner out there busting ass.
Both the Wagners, Franz and Mo, bro.
Yeah. Out there hooping. I think for me, I think my biggest surprise is the Thunder are legit. Like, I don't know if they'll win this year, but they definitely gonna it's gonna be a rough night in the playoffs when you got when we get deep in the playoffs. Like, I don't know who they is that's they're gonna run into, but it's gonna be a long night. And so I think for me, the Thunder is who my biggest surprise.
I agree. I definitely agree. It's like some of the young teams are starting to grow up, like the Timberwolves being the top seed, right?
That might be my actual biggest surprise because I knew he was nice, but I didn't think the rest of the team would play better. Like, I seen Anthony Towns was busting ass the other night.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. Like, parity has always been an issue with the NBA, but now kind of seeing some of the young teams kind of like take the throne and show that they can play. I think that's good for the league, and I feel like that's the whole. Besides money, that's the whole point of this tournament is to kind of expose and show some of these younger teams, and they're showing up to form. You know, a lot of them. You know, and
Pacers is another one.
Pacers is another one. Like Tyrese Halliburton has been.
He's like the ugliest jumper, dog, but that should go in.
It goes in, and he's looking like an MVP candidate to me, right?
Yeah.
But it's
that was gonna be mine. I was gonna say the Indiana Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton, how he's elevated his team, how he's become more of a complete player, and just the overall projection of the Pacers. Like maybe a couple people seeing this coming. I definitely was not one of them, so this definitely caught me off guard, and his plays caught me off guard too. So it's just I thought that was a really big one.
I knew he was gonna be nice, Tar. We talked about him a couple years ago when
that's my man's, bro. Yep.
But I just didn't know he would be 30 and 10 almost every night.
Bro,
like, I didn't know he was. I knew he was gonna be at least 20 and 10 though.
That should have been the Ben Simmons trade. I told you. I was like, don't get James Harden. Get this kid Halliburton. I told you, bro. I told you, and I was like. I knew he was this nice, bro. Like, I've always known he was this nice. Like, that's my guy, bro. Like, he was one of my favorite.
I always thought he was nice, but I didn't know it would be to this degree. Like, the way he's been hooping, the way he was killing Drew Holiday yesterday. I think it was yesterday. He was giving he had Drew Holiday all turned around. I was like, oh no, Drew, fight back. Drew, fight back. So, like, for me, I can definitely see the Pacers. I didn't see them being this nice this early. I thought that they would be able to gel together. It always kind of puzzled me when they were talking about getting rid of Miles Turner because I'm like, he's such a good player that, like, I don't know.
What that nigga be wearing? That's probably why.
They got shit to do about that basketball court, bro. That boy,
he's a weirdo.
He do be dressing in some questionable fabrics. He do be in some questionable fabrics, but he get rim
on the bench looking like your auntie.
Pick and pop game.
No, he can hoop though. He's a baller. He's a baller for sure.
Like, I think he can hoop. I never understood it. I'm happy to see Obi Toppin getting some burn over there too.
Ben, I like Ben Mathurin too. Ben from
yeah.
He's nice. Like they just built their team like so. They built their team right, and when you build through the draft and you have patience, right? Like, a lot of people are trying to cancel off the Detroit Pistons right now. And I was telling Matt the other day, bro, like, y'all are going to be fine. Just trust the process. I don't want to steal the 76er slogan, but trust the process. Like, you have a young team, let them gel and develop, take their lumps together. In time, they'll be fine, right? And that's what Indiana had to go through. They had to let them to develop, right? And I think, like, there's no magic potion to getting good quick. And I feel like a lot of NBA teams have tried to do that. Like, oh, let's go big three, like the Nets. Like, let's go big three. And, like, dude, nah, bro, just draft, develop, and they'll be fine, bro.
Right.
And you're starting to see that this year.
I felt that. I agree with that 100%. I think two teams aren't as patient as they should be. And when you can get a team like the Nets, for whatever you want to say, is they were injuries and a big toe away from going to the finals. But longevity, it just doesn't work because eventually you're getting people on the back ends of their career, they're going to fall out because who's getting the ball and there's not enough money to go around. Where when you build a team, you can build a quality team for the long run.
Because you're getting at least bench players that can contribute, or you're getting young budding stars on the cheap, which allows you to put that money other places and get savvy veterans to cover other holes and things like that. It's like they forgot how to build a championship team. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Because the Big Three era, bro, it's like you were spoiled.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Era. Oh, we'll just put the best three players together. We don't care what position.
Right.
We'll get 5 small forwards to play on the team, and they're going to win a championship.
Positionless basketball. Let's see how that's working.
You're undersized like hell. Like,
and so it caused the ruckus. Bama, Texas getting in at 3-4. Undefeated Florida State left out of the college playoff. Did the selection committee get it right?
Roll effing Tide.
That's why I was letting you cook. Go ahead. Talk about it, Bama. Let's go.
Hey, no, but for real though, because if everyone remembers, we had a very, very sour taste in our mouth last year when we watched TCU get the hinges torn off of them by Georgia. Now, that was the NCAA and the committee giving everybody what they wanted with a more deserving team. They was the team that deserved it the most. They earned it, right? But they were also the less talented team out of the teams that probably could have made it in, right? So that's basically what they're trying to prevent this year. Let's give them a competitive national championship game, because people will complain about college football, but let's not forget how many Super Bowls have been absolute blownouts, and we're just less. We're like, well, at least the halftime show was good. No,
right.
So if they have the power to prevent that, then let them. They're going to give us good quality football. Now, I'm a Miami fan, so it's up to you to Florida State all day, every day. You know what I mean? But I also felt when it initially hit, I'm not going to lie, I felt bad. Because I'm thinking about what it's like to be a player or a coach in that locker room and sit there and be like, yo, what is the point of playing? We literally undefeated. I would hang my own national championship banner if I was that bitch.
Yeah.
I don't believe in moral victories, but in this one, hey, we champs, bro. I don't care what y'all say. You know what I mean? But being how the playoffs is how we have it, roll effing Tide.
Just like TJ. Hey, shout out to TJ. Yeah. Like you said, nobody want to watch 3 points at halftime, yo.
Right. And
I love good defense, but ain't nobody trying to watch that, bro.
Nobody, bro.
From another standpoint too, right? Florida State's biggest win all year was LSU, which we'll give them that. But Alabama beat LSU, so it's like, I feel like what we try to do with Florida State, we try to give them credit for beating teams that used to be good years ago. Like Clemson's no longer good, so that's not an impressive.
Nostalgic, nostalgic wins.
Florida's no longer good. Like, you're not beating Tim Tebow's Florida. You're beating, like, Graham Mertz's backup Florida team. And that's not a good Florida team. You struggled to beat Florida with a backup quarterback on the road. You struggled to beat Boston College.
Louisville. Yeah.
There's a lot of struggles on that resume, and the ACC wasn't what the ACC normally is. So you're talking about a team with the 65th hardest schedule in the nation and taking them out for the team with the 5th hardest schedule in the nation? Kick rocks. Like, what is the argument? Like, I understand we feel sorry for them. I get it. But it's like, bro, break it down from a sense to make sense. They were undefeated. They should have went undefeated because they had the best team in a very dog water conference. The only ranked team that they really played was Duke. Duke's a basketball.
Florida State's record, but ACC was 6-4 against the SEC this year.
Yeah, no, and that is really true. But what are
that's because the SEC is down, not because the ACC is up.
Damn.
Right.
I'm just saying, bro. It's a 2-dog race in the SEC. We all know that.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's super true as well.
That's facts. That's facts.
Look at Florida State's overall the strength of record of their opponents. Right. Look up.
But I did see that ACC won 6 out of the 10.
But look at so look up the records of Florida State's opponents, like overall record. Look it up.
It's pretty terrible.
So that's what I'm saying. Like it's very terrible. Like I get that stat, but like the overall record was bad.
Yeah, I said it before we got on camera. I hate Bama. So like I just really don't want to see
Roll effing Tide.
And I don't want to see TJ on Facebook talk about roll Tide. I don't want to see it. That's my dog, but I don't want to see it, bro.
Hey, if you can't beat them, join them, bro.
Roll down Tide.
Roll.
Roll down Tide.
Oh man, yeah, that's what it's gonna be this year, man. Unless you know what I mean, Michigan can. Hey, but did you see the dejection that was in that room when they announced that Alabama was? They were like, "Oh, yeah." Then they try to clean it up. Like, yeah. Nah, it's too late. We saw that initial reaction. Y'all boys do not want to play Bama.
Jordan Travis said the saddest shit I've ever heard, though. He said, I wish I would have broke my leg week 3 so you can see how good.
I saw that, bro. I saw that.
I was like, damn, that's depressing. Like,
yeah, I mean, does he kind of have a point, though? Because then they would, you know what I mean? I don't know. But probably not, but, you know.
Yeah, they would have been playing in the Armor All Bowl somewhere. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Bowls.
The Mako Bowl.
the Double Mint Gum Bowl. Like.
Oh, God, bro. Oh, God. So I was able to get it in. So right now, Lakers up by 5 against the Suns in LA. Y'all think who gonna win it?
Man,
I got the Bucks winning it all, but I think the Lakers gonna close the Suns out tonight.
Yeah, the Lakers are definitely.
I think it'll be Lakers Bucks in the finals, though.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely.
Lakers up by 5. I'm gonna pull the Suns in an upset tonight, and then I got the Pacers to
Pacers to win it all.
Yeah.
Who do you think gonna win between the Pelicans and Suns then? At that point,
the Suns.
And Zion's healthy.
That's okay.
I have a question. So you said between the Pelicans and Suns, so if the Suns lose, they're still in it?
No. You lose, you're out. Well, he said that he would have the Suns winning.
Oh, okay.
I asked him in that scenario.
Which they would go on to play. Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, because I'm like,
I've been confused by this whole thing. So maybe y'all can answer this for me.
Oh, it's very confusing.
Why does the scoring matter? Like, why do you have to win by like 14 points or like 15 points? Like, why does
let's just say we both
tiebreaker
3-1, who scored the most points?
It's like hockey.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's where like the animosity is coming from when it comes to like, oh, the way that it's making the game is because they always had this unwritten rule that you don't blow a team out. But it's like, nigga, I'm trying to get that $500,000.
Sure, but it's like
Stop me. Quit all that complaining and stop me from scoring.
Like Herm Edwards, we play to win the game. Just win. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, straight up.
So I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know, bro.
I never understood that unwritten rule. Like, I'm not supposed to score in the last 2 seconds of the game. What? How do you know my contract bonus ain't on the line?
Oh, God.
That's why Antonio
I'm just saying, bro.
That's why Antonio Brown said peace and took all his shit off.
Hey, and they ain't been nothing since he did that.
Cause his contract, bro. He was like, bro, like y'all niggas ain't gonna use me. I ain't trying to play. F y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't throwing me the ball. Y'all know it's in my contract, yeah, for sure.
Oh God. And so the finals was announced. We got Bo Nix, Penix, Marvin Harrison Jr., and I'm missing somebody.
Jaden.
Oh, and
my
Jaden.
Boy from LSU.
Yeah, that's who I think should win. But who y'all got winning the Heisman?
That's who's going. That's who's going to win.
That's who's going to win.
I'm actually really surprised.
That's crazy.
I know that like I was on Marvin Harrison a couple years ago. I tried to tell a bunch of people like, hey, you got to Marvin Harrison Jr. This nigga is like a bigger version of his dad. This nigga nice. But like, and I think he's having a great year. But I don't think he's having a Heisman finalist type of year.
He would have to be having as good of a season or better than the season as Devontae Smith when he won it. And I don't think they're going to give two receivers that close in proximity to Heisman. Not going to happen.
You would have to have some crazy numbers, and he just don't. Like he has some decent numbers.
Yeah.
Like he got double-digit touchdowns, 1,200 yards, like 60 to 70 catches. Like I feel like he's having a very solid year. Maybe maybe Blitnikoff worthy, but like
it's like top receiver in NFL draft quality, but it's not like it's
not like this ain't groundbreaking.
Yeah, he's gonna be Jaden though for sure.
Yeah, I think it is. We're not gonna spend too much time on it because it's like when you look at his overall numbers, what he got like 50 touchdowns almost. He
had a better year than Lamar Jackson stats wise. If we're just gonna wrap it up in a bow, Lamar Jackson won the Heisman. He had a better statistical year than Lamar Jackson. So.
Right, and Lamar was doing his thing, man. I think he was underrated with how well he threw the football in college.
Right,
and he was running all over the field. And so, with the time we got left, we're gonna do some quick hitters. What'd I do with it? Oh, there they go. All right, so I watched a montage of star players actually getting thrown out of games. Jason Tatum gets thrown out of a game. Giannis was thrown out of a game for dunking on someone, and then mean mugging after dunking on someone. He got a second tech, and that's why he was kicked out. Jason Tatum was trying to argue a foul and was just kind of asking, like, what did I do? What did I do? And they were like, you're asking too many questions. Get out of my face. And then I seen Joke get tossed out of game too, getting a second technical. And he was like, while it was happening, he was like, yo, this is a foul. And then after he was like, yo, what's up with the foul? And they just kicked him out. And that was like, I get it if it's like late in the game. You played most of the game. You're doing too much. I told you to chill. Get out. But Yoke was thrown out in second quarter. Both of the other two that I mentioned were thrown out in the mid to early part of the third quarter. So are refs too quick to give out these technicals and be kicking people out the game?
Hell yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like I feel like they're trying to monitor the amount of fights that tend to happen, or like they don't want an Indiana Pacer Detroit thing happening, because like you start to see like fans getting into it now, calling players names and stuff like that. So
yeah,
violence it sues more violence. So I guess they're trying to like nip that in the bud per se. So that's the best way to do it is just by having an itchy trigger finger when it comes to the whistle. But yeah, they are, like, for sure they are. And I understand why, but you can be a little bit more lenient. Like dunking at somebody and making a look, that's a part of the game. And like you taking that out, it's like it's for what? You know?
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things when you involve, not to say that like there's a complete difference between all like all the refs are white, but I think that sometimes when you involve like cultures versus positions of power, because it's like if you're an athlete, you grew up to some degree talking shit to each other. So it's like the players on the court, they might react in the moment, but at the end of the game, they're going to dap it up. Hey, man, you got me. Best man won. Get up out of here. Well, like a ref is like I've definitely been watching a couple players' podcasts where they've been talking about referees and the way that they talk to the players on the court. But it's like whenever you match that energy, now they use this position of power to be like, I can get you out of here.
Like that one referee, Chris Paul,
he was like, I can get your big ass out of here.
Yeah. Like that one referee, Chris Paul.
Oh, yeah.
That beef is like insane. That's like the worst.
They've been talking about this for 5 years now. They still beefing. I'm like, bro, Adam Silver got to step in.
This man ain't got suspended, not fired, not fined, nothing. That's wild, bro. And then we got the incident with Ime Udoka and LeBron, where you have a referee who's not even in the frame of the shot walks over to two men talking, looks at them like a little kid looking at his mom and his dad talking. Is like, what y'all talk? Oh, is that? Okay. Get out of here. What is that?
Yeah.
Did you actually hear the conversation too? Like there's
yeah. There was nothing over the top. If you're gonna call a tech, you should have called it when he said the B word.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't. It was then when he said, soft ass boy. Oh, that's it. Get out of here.
Yeah. He was like, why you walking
What you want, bro? What you want?
Nothing. Get your soft ass out my face.
Wow. Hey, they need to fire these referees and just get some new ones. Straight up.
Oh God. Which is a great segment.
Or have ex-players referee the game.
I heard them, they just as bad.
Richard Jefferson. That's an example. Yeah, Richard Jefferson.
You right.
He refereed Summer League, and it was, oh my God.
What is going too far with trash talk though?
Kevin Garnett telling Carmelo's wife, telling Carmelo his wife tastes like Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yeah, bro. You bring my wife and my kids into it, you gotta go. Damn the fine, damn the suspension, any of that. You bring my wife and kids into it, you gotta go, bro. I'm sorry. We from the shoulders off times. Yeah, that's off top.
Limits. I think that. Yeah, I feel like family or like personal issues.
The stuff in boxing.
Personal issues, that's on you. You let yourself get out to the public. But if it's not involving the wife and kids, you know what I mean? Like directly involving the wife to where I'm calling your wife a name or your kids or something like that. Now, if you got caught cheating, I'm gonna bring that up, bro. Like I'm gonna. I'm sorry. I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, hey,
bro.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, hey, that's on you. You were messy, bro. I got you. You know what I mean? Like, hey,
like Zion.
but yeah, Zion, perfect example, bro. I'm like, hey, is that Mariah right there? Bah, got him. Like, nah.
Right. Yeah.
That is wild.
For sure.
Yeah, anything outside the wife and kids is fair game. I feel.
Yeah.
I agree. I do agree. I just think that shit funny. Like that. I was like, I really hope that's what was happening. And then when I seen it, I was like, oh, Ime was on demon time. He was just like, bro, why you walking up on me like you finna do something? You not finna do nothing.
You not gonna do nothing, bro.
That's that Nia Long.
And then Darvin Ham talking about, oh, tell him Saginaw said that. Oh, so the whole Saginaw mission about the rod for LeBron James? Come on, man, get out of here.
Right.
He from Africa.
Let's stop with the fake tough guy, bro. Like let's cut it out. Like, you know what I mean? Either walk up and punch a dude like you Chris Childs, or don't say anything.
Yeah.
You remember old boy from the Pistons that ran up at LeBron, Isaiah Stewart? Unless you unless you're that, right? Yeah,
my man was swim moving everybody trying to get to LeBron. Get out the way, like.
Yeah, I ain't doing no talking, bro. I ain't doing no talking. Come here.
Yeah. And we talked about the Texans earlier. I said that they were 7-5. They're third in the AFC South. They have 2 games against the Titans. They have 1 game against the Colts. They went 1-1 against the Jaguars. CJ I think he has the most passing yards in the league, 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. How many wins does he have to have in order for you to really think he has a legitimate, or should at least be legitimizing his conversation in the MVP conversation?
He should be Brock Purdy. But I'm saying that being sarcastic, right? Like, obviously, like, I feel like he has a more, like, understandable chance than a Brock Purdy does, but because he's a rookie and just certain situations, you're just not going to give it to him, unfortunately. But, I mean, I think the definition of MVP is what he's doing, right? Like how I said it shouldn't be a quarterback award. Like, if you're doing what he's doing, taking a little-known Texans team, like a lot of his weapons were, what they were, and a team that was basically the number 1 pick last year, the 2 overall pick, and you elevate them to a status of playoffs, and you're beating, top tier teams. That's the definition of an MVP to me. Not and I'm not trying to make a Brock Purdy thing, but not Brock Purdy. Like that's the MVP, right?
Yeah.
But just the simple fact that I think it's a rookie and they just don't want to give it to a rookie. They're going to give it to, and just because he's like 7-4 or 6-4, oh, well, he's not 11 and whatever. He elevated him in wins. So he's the MVP, but it's going to be Brock Purdy.
If he can get 4 more wins, I feel
if he can get to 11,
that's his. That should be his. 10 wins. I mean, at least 9. What they win 2 last year?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a vast improvement as far as wins, though. But we're talking about him. Now, we're not talking about the team winning the MVP. We're talking about him.
Well, they always talk about value.
I get that. But that's not what it is, though. We know that because if we're talking about most valuable player, then that has to go to Tyreek Hill or what we were talking about earlier. But if we're talking about him stacking up against MVPs, I think he needs at least 11 wins.
Yeah.
Then it becomes undeniable. Like, yo, this rookie is like, because it's going to be the rookie. You know what I mean? So I feel like those things are going to become a factor and things like that. So the stats are there, though. But I think if he gets it, I think we're at 6 wins. So if he wins out, he can get there.
Yeah, no, I agree. But his coach is definitely going to win Coach of the Year, which is deserved.
Oh, definitely.
Fact. And then I think I like the conversation we were having prior to the show. So I'm thinking we're just going to use this for the rest of the time. I was going to squeeze in another one. But for the rest of the time, we got Mike Evans eclipsed 10 years of 1,000 yards receiving. Is he one of the greatest receivers of all time?
Go ahead, Marv.
We're going to say top 10 as being greatest of all time. We're going to stop there. Yeah. I would say he's just outside of the top 10. I give him top 20. Be generous. You can give him top 15 just because the consistency and the low-key dominance has been there. But there's not one rememberable Mike Evans catch that I can remember off the top of my head without really, really thinking about it, or a game or, a moment to where I'm just like, yo, he's head and shoulders the best wide receiver in the league right now. We still say it's Devontae or it's somebody, it's Tyreek. So if you're not the best in any one given year, I can't then put you above, 10 people who are undoubtedly the best of that year and of, probably their generation if we're talking all time.
Right.
So I think for that pushes him down. But he is a great receiver, nonetheless.
Yeah, no, I agree with your point. I think my only real is with Tyreek Hill, at least we know that he had Mahomes. At least we know he had Tua. Like, to begin Mike Evans' career, Josh McCown, Jameis Winston, and Ryan Fitzpatrick, like these are some of the guys that are throwing him the ball. So I feel like if he had an elite quarterback out of the gate, he would probably be up there just because of the consistency. He doesn't get hurt. He's played. He plays all the time. He's had all 1,000-yard receiving years. So it's just like based off of that, right? But then you also have that same argument like with a Larry Fitzgerald, right? Like Fitzgerald had a lot of turnover at quarterback as well, and like you said, but we can call Larry Fitzgerald's moments when he had Kurt Warner, and that's when we start to see the best of him is when he had Kurt Warner. Just like we started to kind of see the best of Mike Evans when he had Tom Brady, and it was just a short-lived relationship. So I think like the verdict would be out like of if it's almost like an if thing. What if he had a better quarterback? You could say top 5, top 10, but the fact that he didn't, I think that went against him, hurt him a lot, right? Not having that elite quarterback play, right? Like you have to sit through Jameis Winston throwing for 5 yards, 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. That's right. Like you have to sit through that for your career, right? For a lot of it, for a lot of your prime. So, and then you see he became that winner. He became that Super Bowl champion when he had a Tom Brady. So it's kind of a difficult argument to have based off of the context of it, because we've seen what he had when he had a quarterback, and we've seen what he had without a quarterback. So he's flirting with the top 10-ish, 11-ish, like you said, 15, 20-ish, but there has to be context when it comes to him just because of the quarterback play was so just awful. Same thing with like DeAndre Hopkins. Like quarterback play was awful until you got like Deshaun Watson, and when your quarterback play got better, then but and or Kyler Murray later on, like your quarterback play got better, so you were better, right? So yeah.
I think it's tough because of the longevity, but then just to be real and objective is when you go. I just went back and looked at now this particular list. If you see me squinting at my phone, I was trying to figure out when this shit was wrote. Because this particular list, I'm like, Raymond Berry is number 10. I'm sorry.
Who?
Exactly.
Wait, Packers? Was he Packers?
Nah, he played with Colts.
Hey, but real quick sidebar. A real quick sidebar. That's what I mean about like the numbers, though, because the numbers can be there, but how memorable are you? What moments do you have? Did you change or impact the game so much so to where we can't tell the game of the NFL without you? Now, you can talk about that Super Bowl that he won with Tom Brady, but we're all going to remember that Super Bowl for Tom Brady, not Mike Evans.
Yeah.
So that's my thing, because he just brought up somebody who's top 10 at one point was top 10, and we have no idea who this guy is.
They still threw him the ball, right? Like they played with foldable helmets. Like, yeah.
I think Johnny Unitas threw him the football.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, bro.
Yeah. It's
even better.
I'm sitting there thinking about it because then then you go, if you can go 10, it's like depending on what your list is. That's where I would like. I probably would put him after 15. Because
around the 15, I would. That's because we still got people that are right now that are going to be in that discussion too. Devontae Adams, you know what I mean? People that are playing right now that.
And DeAndre, they're above him right now.
Exactly.
Include Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, and T.O.
I'm gonna tell you what would though, right? And I don't put this past this to happen, right? He's a free agent this year. Go to the Chiefs.
Ooh.
That would be crazy.
Ooh.
Yeah. Take a pay cut. Take a pay cut to go to a squad that needed wide receiver.
I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
Oh God.
So it's like, God. And I think that would change the discussion because then he might be flirting with 2 rings now, and then his numbers.
Right. But once again, my thing is is his style of play. Like I was saying pre-show, he's the wide receiver version of Travis Kelce. Nothing flashy, nothing fancy, just efficiency.
Yeah.
So is that really what they need in Kansas City at wide receiver? I mean, I know it's kind of like a sidebar, but that
damn ball. They just need somebody that can catch the damn ball. Like,
yeah.
Well, I guess you're right. I guess because they deep threats don't really
hit you in the head, catch it.
Yeah.
And with Patrick Mahomes' ability to throw the deep ball, with him being such a big target down the field.
Yeah, he'll buy time for him to get open. Yeah.
He's vertical. Like he is a vertical. Because he was catching the ball for 40-year-old Tom Brady did. Like Tom Brady's arm was pretty much gone, and he was still, like what's his yards to catch? Like probably 19, 18, 17, something like that. It's still up there. Like it's, so.
Facts. And but thank you guys for showing up, man. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you both. We got to get ready to get up out of here. But like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, make sure you go and follow all the socials. You can follow me at KYNGRALPH on everything from Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Twitch. Add an underscore for Twitter. Make sure you go and subscribe, like, comment, share on our Facebook. That's on the bottom. The He Say She Say channel. YouTube. Go subscribe at J.U.K. Media. Follow us on Instagram, J.U.K. Sports Show. And we got to get up out of here. Love, peace, and the Aces 3-peat.